Despite Rockstar's best attempts at nerfing it, the Cayo Perico Heist remains one of the most lucrative money-making methods in all of GTA Online. Not only is it extremely easy to set up, but the payouts are also really good, even though the heist has been nerfed to basically oblivion over the past 2 years. In today's video, I will show you how as a beginner you can easily make $1 million solo in less than an hour, and the best part about this is you follow the exact same pattern every single time you play it, using stealth to maximize your efficiency in the heist. The first thing you need to check before beginning is whether or not you have a spare $2.2 million in your bank account. If you've never played this heist before, I'm guessing you don't own a Kasatka submarine, and you're gonna need one to begin this heist because it contains the control panel for setting up your gear, approach, exfil options, and all of that stuff. You also need $100,000 for the setup costs, and you need to be a VIP, CEO, or MC Club president to initiate the mission. If you have the money for a Kasatka, you probably own an MC Clubhouse or some kind of property, but let's say you're a complete beginner. In this case, you can become a VIP as long as you have $50,000. Just open up your interaction menu, go into the Secure Serve section, and select Register as VIP. If you already own an office or an MC business, you don't need to do any of that, of course. You probably received a message from a wealthy drug lord called Miguel Madrazo, which means you can head straight to the Music Locker. It's an underground club located right next to the Diamond Casino. Find Madrazo there in the private suite and approach him to trigger a cutscene where he tells you all about the Cayo Perico heist. This part is only for first-time players, and in subsequent playthroughs you won't have to sit through all these cutscenes. But after chatting with Madrazo, you can open up the Warstock Cash and Carry website on your cell phone and buy that Kasatka submarine. You don't need any upgrades apart from the Sparrow helicopter, which will significantly speed up your prep times, but for now, if you don't have the cash, don't worry, just use the dinghy to go back and forth, or you can even park your submarine next to the Vespucci helipad for a free helicopter spawn. By the way, here's a map of all of the free aircraft spawn locations in GTA Online, so if you don't have the Sparrow or any other heli, use whichever one works for you. Now once all this is done, you can initiate the first phase of the Cayo Perico heist from your Kasatka control room. This is the Gather Intel mission, and once you arrive at the LSIA terminal, you'll be flown to the island of Cayo Perico where you meet El Rubio, who's the criminal mastermind who stole a bunch of important documents from Madrazo, the guy you're working for. And here, you'll watch another cutscene, and once that ends, you'll find yourself in the middle of a dance party. Your goal here is to scope out the various warehouses and security systems on Rubio's island, so sneak out of the party and you should see a trail that's being protected by a guard. Once he moves out of the way, run past him and head towards the other side of the island. Try your best not to get caught here because the guards will send you back to the party if they find you. If you get caught too many times, you'll also be booted off the island, and there's a very specific path you need to follow, and it's to the right of the dirt road, through all the trees and bushes. This minimizes your visual signature and also keeps you out of the search cones of the guards. Always keep an eye on the minimap as well as you head towards the entrance of El Rubios compound. If you're at a junction or checkpoint with a bunch of guards looking in each direction, wait for them to pass before you make your move. Now eventually, you'll find yourself in the main compound where you have the choice to continue on foot or steal one of the vehicles. You can grab the vehicle to make it faster, but again, if you're a beginner, you probably aren't familiar with the stealth routes that keep you hidden from the guards. So what I suggest you do is go on foot for your first attempt until you feel comfortable using that vehicle. Plus, you also won't have to worry about your vehicle getting stuck in a tree, for example. Now once you're on the hill overlooking the compound entrance, the text prompt telling you to check out El Rubio's compound will appear. At this point, turn around and you should see a communications tower on the hill behind you. There are multiple levels to this tower, and a signal box will spawn randomly on one of these levels. Sometimes it's on the ground level, and sometimes it's on one of the upper levels. But you can hear the electronic buzzing sounds of the box, and once you find that box, hack it to gain access to the security feeds. Hacking is a fairly simple process here, as long as you're familiar with basic multiplication and addition, and with the signal box hacked, you can view a cutscene, and then it will let you transition between the many cameras on El Rubio's central compound. Pay attention once you get to the basement area though, because this is the only one we care about. Here, you'll be able to view El Rubio's most precious treasures that are stored in a secure basement level in his compound, and one of these will be your primary target for the heist. For first-time players, it's always going to be the Madrazo files, which are stored inside of a safe. In subsequent playthroughs, however, or if you're farming it, you can get different primary targets based on random chance, but most of the time it's going to be the Cincimito tequila because of the 2022 nerfs made by Rockstar to the Cayo Perico heist. I did an entire video on this when it released, which you could check out, but basically with this nerf, there's a 72-hour window after each heist instance during which spawn chances for various primary targets will shift if you played Cayo Perico within that time window. And yes, that is 72 real-life hours, not in-game hours. Now at this point, you'll be prompted to scout out a few other locations on the island. One of these will be the main dock, which is your island infiltration point, and once you've taken a photo of the dock, it will get added to your options inside of the Kasatka for whenever you choose to initiate the finale. And while you're scoping out the dock, you should also grab a dinghy and check out the drainage tunnel, which is located to the southeast of the main compound underneath the waterline. This is important here because it's the easiest as well as most risk-free way to enter Rubio's main compound, and once you're on top of the drainage tunnel, just drive close to the wall and it should tell you that the drainage tunnel entry point has been unlocked. If that doesn't work, just dive underwater, simply look at the tunnel, and that'll register it as an entry point. Okay, now we move on to the final phase of the intel gathering. For this, you'll need to scope out 2 warehouses on the airstrip, where here you'll find your secondary targets. There are 5 different types of secondary targets. We have cash, grass, Coca-Cola, gold, and paintings. As a solo player, you don't need to worry about the gold or paintings, so that brings us down to 3 choices. Coca-Cola is going to be the best value in terms of how much space it takes up in your bag versus the money it gives you. The second best is the grass, and finally, there's cash at number 3. Sometimes, all your secondary targets will be in one warehouse, and at other times, they're going to spawn in both warehouses. Also, make sure to get photos of the loot in both the ground level as well as the upper floor if you can. You can get to the upper floor of the warehouse by climbing on a crate that's next to the forklift. Now it's time for the setup phase. We need 5 things here: an approach vehicle, weapons, the code to Rubio's safe, and a fingerprint cloner, as well as a cutting torch to get inside the drainage tunnel. The approach vehicle is going to be the longfin boat because that's the fastest. After initiating the longfin mission from your submarine, grab your free helicopter from the Vespucci helipad and head out to one of the 2 truck locations. Always go for the location with a single truck icon, as that's going to have fewer security guards. Now once you have the phantom wedge, drive over to the location of the longfin boat, hook up your truck to the trailer, and start driving. Once you're outside the vision circle of police, step out and blow yourself up for a quick wanted level reset. In the next setup mission, you have to acquire a cutting torch from a construction site. This one's the easiest of all setup missions here, all 5 at least, and all you need to do is find a toolbox with a blue colored cutting torch inside. Grab a hard hat to fool the security guards, but don't stick in their vision cones for long, or else they're going to recognize you as an intruder. With the torch mission complete, you can go for the safe code next. For this, you'll travel to a casino and pick up a key card from the trunk of a yellow Lampadati vehicle in the underground parking lot. If you already own a master penthouse, you can skip this portion and go straight to the floor containing El Rubio's security chief, and he typically spawns in one of the 3 locations here: the extra bedroom, the bar, or the party hub. You can tell it's him by the cowboy hat that he's wearing, and even though the security chief is armed with an assault shotgun, you should have no trouble taking him down and stealing the code from his pockets. To collect the fingerprint cloner, you just need to assault a warehouse as well as an archive. The archive is going to have some security cameras, so take those out before you enter, and the fingerprint cloner will always be on a desk at the back of the archive in a room containing a bunch of vehicles as well as computers. And now, you just need to do one final setup mission. This is for your weapon loadout, because you can't bring your own personal weapon arsenal to Cayo Perico for plot reasons. You can select any loadout you like. We have the aggressor, conspirator. It doesn't really matter because we aren't going to engage much in combat anyway. Just make sure to have suppressors selected for maximum stealth. There are 2 different types of weapon setup missions, and the one you want to avoid is the Merryweather HQ one because it takes way too long. If you get the Merryweather HQ mission, simply load into a new invite-only session and keep repeating until you get the other mission type. Next, you're going to infiltrate an office building, kill a bunch of guards, and steal the goodies from the weapons locker. And now finally, with all the prep work complete, it's time for the finale. Before you initiate the finale though, you'll have to select a few options on the Kasatka's control panel. For the approach vehicle, select the longfin. Your infiltration point should always be the main dock, and the compound entry point is going to be the drainage tunnel, as that's the most efficient route. And the exfiltration point can be anything. It really doesn't matter. If you want the elite challenge bonus with this heist, however, you must complete the finale undetected and also have a full bag of loot, and do this all in under 15 minutes. And it's perfectly manageable if you follow the path I'm about to show you. First, use your longfin to infiltrate the island. Then after that, head to the warehouses containing the secondary loot, execute the 1 guard patrolling the perimeter, but make sure you do it while he's outside the vision radius of other guards. Then head into the warehouse and fill your bag with the most valuable stuff you can find. It's always going to be Coca-Cola, grass, and cash in that order. Don't forget to use that forklift so you can check the upper levels as well. Now, with the secondary loot acquired, head to the southeast side of the compound on your longfin, Park it near the wall, put on your rebreather, and dive underneath to cut the drainage tunnel grill with your plasma torch. On the other side of the tunnel, you'll find the courtyard and main office building. You need to take a very specific route to get inside the main office building so you can avoid all of the enemy vision cones. You can actually do this without killing a single guard, but even if you kill 2 or 3, it honestly won't break your stealth as long as you have a suppressed weapon. And inside of the office, open up the wall safe and grab the cash. Then, hack the door to the basement using your cloner and enter the safe code to acquire the Madrazo files. That's your primary target done. Alternatively, if you get a gate key from one of the guards, you can skip the office entrance and go straight to the underground gate, which leads to the basement storage room. Finally, we have to exfiltrate here. Doing this without drawing any attention to your character is going to be tough here, but you can leap off the balcony next to the office entrance. There's usually just 2 guards beneath you. Wait for them to look the other way and jump down. Run through the courtyard and outside the main gate, and here you'll find a guy next to a dirt bike. Execute him, steal his bike, then drive straight to the edge of the island and jump your bike into the water at full speed. Keep swimming until you're at the edge of the map, at which point the heist will conclude and you'll receive your payout. And there you have it, folks. This is going to be my beginner's guide to Cayo Perico. This will allow you to do this heist for the first time in the fastest and most easy as well as efficient way as possible, so it's great for beginners. Let me know what you think of this heist in the comments down below. Do you think it's still worth it despite all the nerfs that Rockstar has given it? And which other heists or businesses do you run during the cooldown period for Cayo Perico? If you like this video, don't forget to drop a like on it, as well as subscribe for more GTA Online guides like this. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.